owns his own juice bar in the Bronx, and we are pleased to have him. Please welcome Bendit Guerrier and Styles P.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. My man with me, Styles P. Those that don't know, this is my favorite artist of all time. I got married to his music, hosted the show, funerals, everything. This is the man. So, as much as I brought him out for you guys, this is a big moment for my career too, as well. You know, so. Everybody can have a seat. Let me give you a little introduction about Celebrity Fix and Flip. And the reason why I do this every Monday is to inspire our community. Within the last 10 years, I was able to purchase over 100 properties. In the last 2 years, I was able to have a bank sponsor us up to $150 million. So if anybody needs financing, credit repair, loans, these abandoned properties that you see around you, that your children walk by every day to go to school and come home from, I have given us an opportunity, a lane, to be able to buy these properties and turn these properties into profit and to be able to build our family. With that being said, please give another round of applause to Mr. Styles P.
I just want to come here and have a real conversation. Whatever you want to ask me, I want to answer. I'm probably different from the average guy you see sitting up here. In my way of giving you a way to the road of being successful is much different from what everybody else will much probably tell you. But it's just my honest, I did just give you the honest me and who I am and what I stand for. I believe most of us in here, one way or the other, have lived on the streets or seen the streets or know about the fast lane or fast hustle. For me, the road to being an entrepreneur is taking that same drive and hustle and just quadrupling the energy and effort. And sometimes I just sit back and say I had no problem with selling crack, dope, robbing people. I would work all my hours. I would go home, take a shower, change my drawers, my socks, throw the same shit on, and get right back to it. And that was negative. So when you're doing something positive or got your eyes on a prize and want to do something with a, you know, you have a goal that you want to hit the mark. Right. When it comes to being positive energy, we got to remember that struggle that we came from or the neighborhood. Not everybody been in the story is the same, but for me, right, it's just taking a negative and saying, yo, when I did something negative, I worked really, really hard at it.
What I really like about your career is the fact that, you know, you guys kill that notion that black people can't work together. You know, you and your partners, Jaden and Sheik, has just shown, like, wow, like, three brothers could really work together, put their differences aside and the growth. What can you tell the people about what you guys did that are different than most, you know?
Well, with that, it was actually, we took the time to understand what we had was bigger than money. I think sometimes you always, when you want to chase for a dollar and you want to take care of your family, your loved ones, money becomes a priority over everything. Right. I think sometimes you have to put priorities in front of money, which we were able to do as the Locks going. We're a brother, we were poor together, we'll be rich together, we could go up and down together, we know how to make it happen. Nothing should break this bond of coming from nothing to getting something. Right. You shouldn't go, I came from nothing, get something, and then break with the people who you got it with. So we said we was gonna do that before we came in the game, and we just kind of really stuck to the script. Because when you on the grind and you break it down to pizza, and I'm not just talking about me and Sheik, I'm talking about our crew members too. Because even with the Locks, everything is bigger than what you see. Like anything that's a big brand or a big company, there's a lot of people behind it who don't get the credit or you don't see on front line, which help make it happen, which is a big synergy or energy which make it happen. So from even our other homies who we was in the struggle with, when you used to breaking something down, from fried rice to a pizza, to a burger, to a few wings, to whatever it is, with that person you did that with, like we all come from struggle. When you come from struggle, it's hard to say, you know, for me personally, like what comes lower than struggle. There's people who definitely struggle more than us, foreign countries, third world countries, but when you come from struggling, you know the bottom, you already know the body.
And that's why we love you, because our music just always stayed the same. And I remember you in an interview, you was just talking about how, you know, rap music is really no different than like Wes Craven. It's a scary movie, and you just really just talk about some of the things that are, you know, people talking about our struggles in our community. They don't really show that. If they might show like two little clips on the news about what's really going on, but you know, like I remember Cube was saying one time that music almost helps raise our community because a lot of us don't have fathers in our community.
For sure.
And I know for me personally, like I always say, like if I'm going through rough times, there's certain songs that I play of yours, like in my deck, like, and it's no lie, like it's like 4 SPs in there, all different mixtapes, just because you the artist that, you know, I gravitated to. And you know, just a lot that I got from your music. What can you tell the people as far as if they can't make it into entertainment, you know, what got you into the juice bar and the business or that transition?
What got me into the juice bar, I think even if you can't get into entertainment, you have to follow your heart and do things you love. I think that's what successful people do. They do things they love, which they're able to say, if I catch a loss, I'm fine with it. Like, I think that's the main part, because often we chase a dollar. Like, I love nice things, I love money, I love to live a like fast lifestyle, but when you try to get money doing things you actually don't love, when you catch an L or something goes wrong, it's hard to take the L. It's hard to kind of understand where you went wrong and learn from it. As to where when you love something, you're gonna continue to do it. You like, I love this. This is what I do. And you're gonna continue to do it. So for me, with the juicing reel, it was kind of understanding that I actually came from a poor neighborhood. I was fortunate enough to make money, move to a different neighborhood, and then see how rich people live. Then I kind of understand we don't live that way. Like, you know what I mean? We don't even have the knowledge of what fruits and veggies could do for our lives, and we like the original people.
Right.
And that comes from our ancestors and those who came before. So it was more like taking time to go, oh, really? Oh shit, I've made money, and that's even not as an entertainer. That could happen to you as a drug dealer. Like, you get some money, you get some bread, you could buy some jewelry, you could buy a European, you could buy a nice whip, you get in the clubs, your name's ringing, you may forget the struggle of the average person.
Absolutely.
So me getting into the juice was just kind of remembering I'm brown, and then a lack of things that we as brown people have. Like, that's one education of how to take care of ourselves. The easiest way to kill a group of people, in my mind, is miseducation, food, and water. So it's easy for them to target where we live and look and say, hey, boom, these guys is in the hood.
Right.
They grandparents was raised like this. They still think it's cool. They're not gonna do the education on it. So I started understanding, hey, damn, I want the fly shit on my body. Like, who in here goes to a gas station and gets bullshit gas? Oil. Like, when have you got bull? Like, yo, I got my car.
Right.
It's Sunoco, mobile, this and that. Like, you gonna pass the bullshit gas station.
Right.
Who goes there? I'm gonna put bullshit oil in my car. Like, who goes? I'm wearing Skippies. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go to the store and buy some bullshit. So I started taking that as, we in the hood, like, we brown people, we are definitely born to be fly, kings and queens, and have that essence of shining and being extremely flashy, which is cool, but it gets back to, are we taking care of our own? Like, are we doing that same thing for our insides? I know I wash my ass, brush my teeth, wash my body as many times as a day as I could. When did you do that for the inside of your body? Who told us to do that for the inside of our body? So it's kind of more like looking at, damn, now I got money, I see how rich people live, nobody's telling poor people live. So it's more of a passion for me. So I think anything that you get into should be a passion for you. Like, it should be like, I did music because I'm passionate about it. I write scripts. I haven't been successful with writing a script. I love writing movies and films probably more than I like rapping. I haven't been successful with it yet. But if I wake up and try to be the best me every day, give it a good shot, keep my mind, body, soul, and energy in a good place, be cool in my community, like, you know, I have a better shot at achieving that goal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then it's a goal, and if I strive and give it 110%, even if I don't achieve it, I'm cool with it, because another door opened just from people seeing my rapport and my character and my rapport with people, how I go about my day, how I say, I'm coming to work, I'm coming to work. Like, I'm gonna give it my best. We're gonna work together. One hand washes the other, both wash the face. So I feel with anything you do that you wanna be successful in, you gotta go, this is what I wanna do. I'm not even catching the L in it. Like, if I don't make no money in the juice bars, we don't cry about it. We figure a way to heal the people, and we're healing the people. We know we make money because we work. We take it in, we go, if you ever come to, if anybody ever been to our juice bar, we tell people, no disrespect, but we don't give a shit if you never come back, but take a menu, because all the ingredients are on our menu, and you can see it, bring it home to your family, because even more than coming spending your money at our store, we rather you get a blender and juice at home, take this at home, and do it, because that's gonna help your son, that's gonna help your daughter, that's gonna help your mom, your father, uncle, aunt, your whole family, which enables us as a community to be better. Because when I say, all right, this is what we doing to be better, Benedict, you're gonna tell the other homie. That's right. And he gonna tell the other homie, and then when somebody's doing something good, and we ain't judging the people who doing bad, because we know what bad is, and we just saying, hi, come here to get this balance. Right. It works a little better. That's why this room is filled with people who's craving knowledge to say, I want to do better. If you're in this room tonight, you want to do better for yourself, your family, your friends, and that betters the community in the long run. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that's why I give these events for free, regardless if it's a celebrity up here, a mayor up here, because I really feel that our community needs that. You know, just think how desensitized we are. Like, somebody, you can hear a 12-year-old got killed, and you're like, oh, well, what's on Sports Center? So the fact that we don't feel for the common person, to me, is why we are in the position that we are in today. And every Monday, you know, my team and I give these events because we need it. You know, we live in the fastest growing city almost on the East Coast, but yet our murder rate is still staying pretty much the same. Why is that? That's because people feel broken. SP used the word poor. Poor is passing over opportunities repeatedly. Everyone who comes to my meetup, they know after they leave this meetup, how many people been to this meetup before? And the knowledge that you've gotten, somebody came to this meetup within the next day, within one day, the following day, I bought a property from them. A young kid, he was having a baby probably like 2-3 weeks later. He made $15,000 just by coming to this meetup. So it's not that we don't have opportunities. The law just gives us the cards that are dealt, but it's what you do with those cards that really tell you what you should be doing with them. For example, when we talk about these abandoned properties, because I love them, because the abandoned properties, what it allows you to do is do whatever it is that you want to do. If you buy a house for $100,000, these is real numbers, you put $150,000 of renovation in that property, that same property, you selling it to somebody coming over from New York that's getting pushed out for $400,000. How much did you make off of that? You made $150,000 off a property that you look at every day and you be like, man, I'm not fucking with this property, or why don't the city do something with it? So look at those things that's around you and see how those are jewels. So when you see all of these people from outside of your communities coming in to buy these properties, they're not buying them because of the waterfront view or anything like that. It's because they see the value that's in those properties. Like yourself, I became a vegetarian. My wife and I, and all my children, we became vegetarians back in, I think, like 2004. You know, we just stumbled upon Dr. Sebi, Jewel Pookrum. Yeah. And I got a chance, rest in peace, to meet Dr. Sebi 2 different times, and the value that he showed me of eating healthy, how it changed my mindset, and how, you know, respirating is systematic, but breathing is an exercise, and how you can cure yourself from certain anxieties just by breathing correctly. Yeah. And that was just some of the things that you talk about in your music that I definitely love.
Definitely so. Like, I think just with success with being a man or entrepreneur just comes with being an open book and willing to learn and just search for people who's smarter than you or that you admire and not be afraid to say it. Like, I make music, I'm on TV, I'm a hood celebrity, I'm known, but I admire what you do. I'm not afraid to tell him and tell y'all in front of y'all, I admire what he's doing. Legend. Like, word. Stop running. You're a legend in my eyes for what you're doing, because it's not about celebrity, fame, it's about what you would do for yourself, your family, and your community. That's what makes men, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is something I would want to say, I want to bring to my hood, I would want to learn, or want somebody in my hood to learn, one of my homies to say, hey, this is something we need to do too, because this is growing. Like it's that's what growing is about. To say I want to learn from smart people, smarter people,
Right.
people that are doing things, that are engaged and involved with the community. Because I'm sitting here, wow, like I'm sitting here with you. I'm sitting here the same way, because this right here is the way back. Like what you're doing is exactly what I feel like part of what I'm doing. Like I preach.
I'm a Garveyite, that's why.
I preach putting fruits and veggies in your body, because we put death in our body a lot. Like we party, we live fast, we eat meat, we put a lot of things. So it's good to put that balance back in your body, because at the end of the day, it's about building a community. Because you can get all the money you want, it's really not gonna change who you are. Like, you know what I mean? It's not gonna. I've been rich and poor a lot of times. Like, I've never been wealthy yet. I'm trying to learn how to be wealthy. Like, you could be rich and you can get back poor pretty fast. You can get rich pretty fast and you can get back poor. I've been through the scale of rich and poor. I'll be humble with y'all. I have no problem being honest and just truthful with y'all. I've been rich and poor a lot. I've never been wealthy. But as I've been on my journey just trying to be in one with myself, my family, my community, give off good energy, grander opportunities have came to me to put me on a road of being wealthy. If I'm just smart enough to stay around wise people, keep a good energy, learn to listen, learn that when I see something good to go, hey, Brother Benedict, later on I need a little choose on how we make this kind of work somewhere else, or how I can at least learn a little something, because I think that's what it's really about. Like, I think it really starts with being an entrepreneur, is with wanting to better yourself. Because it really starts with that. You can't even better your family until you better yourself.
To piggyback
Like,
on
you know
what
what I
you
mean?
said about, the scale of being rich and poor, up and down. I remember Dick Gregory said when people first get their first million, they go broke. Why? Because in not just black communities, because, poor people have the mindset that all white people are rich.
Yeah.
That's not true. I know struggling white people that are my friends, and I know rich black people that are my friends. What we all are is definitely equal. Now, the reason that most people go broke when they first get their money, I'll always talk about, like, what you always say?
Money don't come with instructions.
Money doesn't come with instructions, and a lot of times you want to bury that pain because your mom was getting evicted, you couldn't have a car, you couldn't buy the fresh sneakers. So a lot of it is like self-medication, and why you feel that need to spend the money, because that inferiority that's built within us. Now, I always say that I'm a billionaire. Why? Because I know that I can count on everybody in this room, because I always talk about collaborative and cooperative economics. No, I can't afford everything on my own, but if I find a 200-unit building, who gonna go in there with me?
Yep.
So it's not about what you're doing as an individual. I always say if you invest in the whole, your individual needs will get met.
Yeah.
And so in building your communities, that's what you're gonna get. So when you see these skyscrapers going up in your community, these major franchises, it's not one person, it's a collective group of people that stayed focused on getting the agenda done, regardless how you feel about them or not. Business is business. That's why you have lawyers around to make sure the right things are done.
Yeah, and I think everybody in this room, I'm pretty sure of it, if you're a certain age, you spend $1 million. So a lot of times we don't understand the money we touch and what we go through and what we had. If you go home and start adding up what your sneakers cost, your jeans cost, the weed pack, the strip club, they're serious. Like, I'm not even joking around. Like, start doing that, how much weed you spending it. Like think about that. Like, you know what I mean? You'll start going, yo, I spent bread, dog. Like, cause we as poor people, we spend the most with all high-end brands. Like, we spend the most with Gucci, Louis, you name it, it's us. And how is that so? It's because we just really don't have that structure, like you said. Because we are supposed to live like kings and shine and all that, but it's just finding the formula structure, which everybody, I believe, at some point, if they don't have guidance, has a hard time with. Or it's just about being around smarter people, or doing your homework and picking up a book and seeing how someone else did it. Like, okay, like I blow through a bag, y'all. I would fuck a bag up. Excuse my friend. I all the way. But I'm also a person who have a plan to get 4 other bags, have a goal, have the mark set, have the work done, and know what's gonna happen for me soon. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's not wise though. So it's good to be around wise people to say, hey, here's what I'm doing. How could I stop doing it? Or where could I blow this bag to where I'm gonna make money off of blowing the bag?
Exactly.
Like I want to blow the bag, but I want to get money so I can blow a bigger bag. So I think it's just about, and we as sparkly people live somebody else's race a lot. This is a lot that's not talked about. Like you on Instagram, you on Twitter, you on the block with the homie, you in the club with him. You may not be in that same race as him. You may have to structure your workout and your diet plan a little different from him. You may have to go, all right, he doing that, this is what I'm doing, because that's not gonna work for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I hang with a lot of people. I have friends from all across the board. Like I have a lot of very wealthy friends. Like when I hang out with them, I don't get caught up in trying to look like them. Like, you know what I mean? I don't get caught up in, damn, he just spent this, he spent that, he bought a watch, he bought a car, he popped mad bottles, he threw out money in the same day. I'm not trying to run that race with him because that's not my race.
And you know your value.
Yeah, that's not my race. Like, you know what I'm saying? That one I'm gonna stay away from. Like, oh, so you looking at him, yo, homie bagged everything, he got 10 J's, he did this, that. Like, that may not be your race. Get the 2 J's. Plan it out, structure it. Like, instead of buying a whole zip, get a half a zip, blow a little less, start working out. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like structuring, because the real thing we don't say as poor people is we don't have the guidelines. Like, we don't have that guidelines. We didn't have that guidelines from our mom and pop. Not all of us. Some of us did. We're not going to take away the great moms and pops who did leave us the guideline, but may not have had the money. They might have told us something, but we didn't see the money to respect what they were saying. So it was like, fuck it. I'm gonna get a pack. That's what I said. I'm gonna get a pack and I'm gonna get that bread. But that's a felony. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you start putting all of these things into play, you start saying, I know what I want to do, what I want to leave behind. Like most of us in here are parents. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what's really, you in here because you parent or you care about your family and yourself. So you're trying to figure out what the fuck am I gonna do for my family and how am I gonna do it? When am I gonna do it? How am I gonna put it together? And that's what it's really about, because we confused because the family before us didn't do it or we wouldn't be in this room right now.
Right.
And that's the honest truth. So it's about saying, all right, look at people you admire. Look at what they've done. Read their books. Listen to them talk. Pick up pamphlets on them. Just do your knowledge. Invest in what you like doing. Find out what you like doing. Find out if you're doing is something you actually like. Like, find out if you just living because your parents told you to do this a certain way. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot. So everybody in here is very different. Like, so it's not one speech that's gonna work for everybody. So it's about finding out who you are at the end of the day. Like going in the mirror, buckling down. Here's what I don't like about myself. Here's what I don't like about my life. Here's what I do like about myself. Here's what I do like about my life. Where I'm gonna get there, how am I gonna get there, who can help me get in there, what's preventing me from getting there, what are parts about myself that are gonna help me, what are parts about myself that are hindering me. And I think it really starts with that, like, and that's where all things start to unfold, because when you know yourself, and you know your ups and your downs, your goods and your bads, it gives you a clear road.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of us, like, we doing a lot of, and I'm not no preachy guy, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, I'm not here to preach to you, but a lot of us lose that connection to our people and the Creator. And then we can't figure out why we lost, because we listening to wrong people. We don't have a connection to our family. Like, one, we all billionaires. If you got family here, and I'm just being real with y'all, a lot of sensibility came to me after losing a lot of loved ones. A lot of y'all know I've lost my daughter to suicide, lost my father to a heart condition, brother to a car accident, close friends to homicide. You name it. The most valuable thing you have are your loved ones and your family around you. And we often forget chasing the dollar. You got to kind of keep that in mind and remember you woke up breathing. You got a shot. I woke up breathing. I'm healthy. I can move, 10 toes, 10 fingers, sight, hearing. I could talk. You got a shot. Like, you got that shot. You got loved ones. So sometimes you got to hold on to the precious shit. Go home and reevaluate what's precious to me. Then once you have that, you got to start.
That's heavy. You know? That's heavy. Because that's all we do, but
Smaller than you. Most of us will never, I take in my mind, I'm never going to be the richest person. I'm never going to be the poorest person. I can be the hardest working person if I put my mind to it. Put that energy in it. And people will see that. And people who see that's gonna want to fuck with me. It keeps me around. Keeps my energy going. It's gonna go, oh, okay, that's a reputable guy right there.
That's right.
I like his work ethic. I like how he get down. He's cool when he get here. He's gonna put in his hours. He's gonna put in his work.
And
that's what people see. And you gotta be versatile. While you at that 9 to 5 that's busting your ass, you're doing double shifts going, I don't wanna fucking be here. Don't quit. Figure out what you're gonna do in between. Like figure out, all right, how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna work it on the side, how do I sacrifice, how do I manage my hours? Like, cause a lot of us go through a lot of shit, and this is what people come up here and talk how it's easy to do good. A lot of us are in pain. A lot of us got mental conditions we going through. A lot of us got personal conditions we going through, financial conditions, family conditions, relationship conditions. So it's not easy to just put everything into play. But sometimes you gotta wake up. I tell myself, ain't nobody gonna give me shit.
Right.
They ain't giving me shit. I gotta go out and get it. Like I gotta go out, build something, work for it, and have it, because a lot of us have set our eyes on the lower prize,
And being
which
on the
gives you a lower work ethic.
Being on the East Coast, a lot of us take for granted. If you've been to the Midwest or slower parts of the United States, the amount of commerce and people that surround you that you can sell your product to, now that you have Instagram and Facebook and Amazon, you can get your product out there through e-commerce. But before that, you know, you live on the East Coast. The density of people look for jobs. What I always say a job is, 3-letter acronym, just over broke, juggling over bills, and jerked out of bed. I said your job is your security and your entrepreneurship is your freedom. I never teach you to go ahead and quit your job without a plan B. But you always need to work towards your entrepreneurship, because your boss, that's what he's there to, is to make money, or she's there to make money. So as soon as they could get rid of you, what you think they're gonna do? They're gonna get rid of you. The same way we looking at, you know, the playoffs is coming and building teams. I always say, are you building your team? Who are you missing around you that you need to build with? And always know that you're not necessarily gonna build with the people that you like. You're not necessarily gonna have growth with the people that you grew around. You understand? It's like a track team. You may not like that person, but that person, you know, if they run in that leg, they the one that's gonna break out when you pass them the baton.
That's a fact.
Make them look like stars, they coming through. On the bike, they look like cars. It's new, JJ the car. So good with your brain is nowhere next to ready for this.